Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well.
What's your name, brother?
I'm Dustin D. Trammell.
All right, and do you have Bitcoin?
Yes, I do. I've been involved in Bitcoin since the very, very beginning.
Okay, yeah, I heard something that you were the second person to run the node or the second person to mine Bitcoin.
No, not the second person to mine. When I first ran the software, the software back then didn't mine by default. You had to turn it on, and I didn't realize that for a few days. So I definitely wasn't the second one to mine.
Okay.
But I downloaded the software pretty much right when it was released from on the cryptography mailing list,
Okay.
and ran it immediately. And the way the software worked back then is it would, being brand new, it had like an IP address hard coded for it to connect to.
Okay.
And then it would do peer discovery and find other peers, and then it would connect to like up to 8 more. And then it would try to maintain 8 connections. And when I first ran the software, it only connected to one other computer, and it only had one connection for like 3 or 4 hours. And then other connections started to happen. So I think I was the second node. Presumably the first one that it connected to was Satoshi. So yeah, I think I was the second node on the network.
Okay. Have you had any conversations with Satoshi?
Not in a very long time. No, the first bits of software, I was trying to understand how it worked, and I found some bugs. So I emailed Satoshi at the time and reported bugs, and I published all of that conversation a long time ago on my website. So you can go download the email archive and see all of my original conversations with Satoshi.
What's it called? What's the website called?
DustinTrammell.com. It's just my name.
Fair enough. So why do you have Bitcoin? Like,
I think it's the best money that humans have ever created. I mean, if you analyze the properties of money and compare against all of the monies that we have today all around the world, all the fiat currencies and gold and assets and things like that, Bitcoin just has the best properties of money. And it's fun, it's technology. I'm a computer scientist, so I got interested in it very early for that reason. Okay. I'm also fairly libertarian minded, so I got interested because it was an alternative currency, and it was cryptography all mashed up into one thing. Some of my favorite things all in the same package.
okay. Any advice for future Bitcoiners?
A lot of people will tell you, just get it and hold it and don't ever spend it. But for Bitcoin to be successful, we have to use it. Don't just buy and hodl. Buy, spend, and replace.
Okay.
Yeah, try to use it, because that's the only way it's ever going to succeed.
Nice. And one more question. I love this one. It's my favorite. And I know what you're doing, but for people listening,
Yeah.
what are you doing for Bitcoin adoption around the world?
I'm doing lots of things. I have a venture capital company called Trammell Venture Partners. We invest exclusively in Bitcoin companies.
Right.
Our second fund was our first Bitcoin only fund, Bitcoin Venture Fund 1. And we're about to start raising here in a few months for Bitcoin Venture Fund 2. And hopefully we'll just continue that and keep going and keep investing in Bitcoin companies and trying to grow the ecosystem, try to create, companies and products that people can use Bitcoin and not just hold it as a store of value, but actually use it.
Okay. I have this one. This one was shot to me. I will ask this to you. What do you think about ordinals? Is it an attack, or is it just a course of life in Bitcoin?
You can see it as an attack. I don't necessarily think it's a very good attack. I think the ordinal system is kind of funny. It's kind of silly. It's kind of like astrology for Bitcoin. You're assigning numbers to Satoshis using this system that makes sense logically, but why? The inscriptions themselves, they're taking up a lot of space in the blockchain right now. But I think as Bitcoin becomes more valuable and yeah, the value of individual satoshis increases, eventually the ordinal inscriptions marketplace will just be priced out of being used. It'll be too expensive to move ordinals around or move inscriptions around between parties, and yeah, I think it'll just kind of go away on its own. The ordinal system itself, that there's a little bit of a threat there because you're assigning individual numbers to satoshis, which you could use to kind of attack Bitcoin's fungibility. But if you don't subscribe to the ordinal system, you say, I don't use this, and you just transact with satoshis, you're not keeping track of which satoshis are going where, and so that may actually come down to being decided in the court whether for a particular jurisdiction ordinals actually matter or not for fungibility. So that might be a potential attack, but I don't see anybody really doing anything with that right now. So that may be a future court battle, but we aren't quite there yet.
Okay. Now that you have been with Bitcoin for such a long time, you have seen all of this. You have seen Bitcoins to altcoins to shitcoins to all the blockchains, and you've met a bunch of people. Do you think this maximalism of Bitcoiners is the just way forward? Is it important? Is this the right way? Because we tend to push out people. We tend to. What do you think after being so many years involved with this ecosystem?
I mean, given that like almost all of these other blockchains and coins end up being scams or drifts, I see the Bitcoin maximalism as fairly healthy because it helps us identify scammers and scams and help people avoid getting sucked into those.
Nice.
Most people, they'll see the hype, they'll get interested, and then they'll get rug pulled or they'll get scammed. And if we can help people avoid that, I think it's healthy.
Fair enough. Awesome, man. Any last words?
No, not really. I'm just hanging out here in Puerto Rico. I'm glad you visited.
Thank you so much, man. Have a beautiful day.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.